Ariana Vale had once been the kind of woman whose name alone could silence boardrooms. She used to walk through glass towers where people adjusted their posture the moment she entered, where assistants rushed and investors nodded nervously, where power lived in her heels and confidence dripped from every word she spoke. But that morning, she sat alone on the cold marble steps of City Plaza, staring at the cracked reflection of herself in a dark phone screen. Her company was gone. Her reputation burnt. Her friends had disappeared with the same speed they once praised her success. The tailored coat she wore still looked expensive, but it felt like a costume now, a reminder of a life that had collapsed overnight. Mascara traced black rivers down her cheeks, not because she wanted to cry, but because she had lost the strength to stop. For the first time in years, no meetings waited for her, no calls came in, no purpose pulled her forward. Just noise, footsteps, strangers passing by without knowing that the woman sitting there had once ruled worlds. She felt invisible, and that terrified her more than failure ever had. That was when she heard a soft voice, not demanding, not curious, just human. "Miss, are you okay?" Ariana looked up sharply, defensive, ready to dismiss whoever dared interrupt her private collapse. But the man standing there wasn't a reporter or a businessman or someone looking to gain something from her pain. He wore a faded uniform, janitor keys hanging from his belt, eyes tired yet warm. His name was Jackson. He had been cleaning the plaza since dawn, watching people rush past each other, until he noticed her stillness, the kind that doesn't belong to peace, but to someone breaking quietly. Ariana tried to respond, but no polished answer came. No rehearsed strength, just silence. Jackson didn't push. He didn't ask who she was or what she had lost. He simply said, "You don't have to talk, but you shouldn't sit alone like this." Those words cut deeper than any insult she had heard in boardrooms, because no one had ever said them to her without wanting something in return. As he offered his hand, steady and unafraid, something inside Ariana cracked. Not painfully, but honestly. The world around them continued moving, unaware that a fallen CEO was about to take the first step toward becoming human again. Paragraph 2. They walked together through the plaza, two lives that should have never crossed paths by society's rules. Ariana felt exposed, not because people recognized her, but because Jackson treated her as if she mattered without knowing her title. He spoke gently, telling her about his daughter, Mira, how she believed colors had feelings, how she hated vegetables with dramatic passion, how she slept clutching her crayons like treasures. His words were simple, but they carried something Ariana had not felt in years: warmth. No ambition, no strategy, just love. When they reached the fountain, Mira ran toward them, her laughter cutting through Ariana's heavy thoughts like sunlight. She stopped suddenly, shyly studying Ariana's tear-streaked face, then pulled a folded paper from her bag and held it out. A drawing. A crooked sun, two stick figures, one wearing oversized sunglasses. "That's you," Mira whispered, pointing to Ariana. Something inside Ariana broke open completely then. She cried, not from loss this time, but from connection. In the weeks that followed, Ariana found herself returning to that small food stand near the fountains. Lunch turned into conversation. Conversation turned into healing. She listened more than she spoke, learning how Jackson balanced exhaustion with hope, how he worked 2 jobs without bitterness, how he still believed the world could be kind. Slowly, Ariana began to see the emptiness she had lived in, a life full of luxury but hollow of meaning. She started rebuilding, not as a CEO chasing dominance, but as a woman seeking purpose. She volunteered, helped struggling parents, used her skills to lift others instead of herself. Every small win felt bigger than her past victories. Jackson never asked for credit, never expected anything. He simply stood beside her, believing when she doubted herself. Through him, Ariana learned that strength didn't roar. Sometimes it whispered and showed up every day anyway. Paragraph 3. Months later, the same plaza looked different. The fountains sparkled under afternoon light, children laughed, and life moved gently instead of rushing past. Ariana sat on a bench, watching Mira draw while Jackson poured tea from his old thermos. The woman she once was felt like a distant memory, not painful, just complete. She smiled, a real smile, the kind that doesn't need approval. "You changed my life," she said softly, voice trembling with gratitude. "When no one else saw me, you did." Jackson shook his head, smiling the way people do when they know the truth but don't need praise. "You weren't broken," he replied, "just lost." Ariana felt tears again, but they were light this time. She no longer saw him as a janitor or herself as a fallen CEO. They were simply two souls who met at the exact moment life demanded humility and kindness. Losing everything had given her something far greater, herself. And in a world obsessed with power, she learned that the most transformative force was simple human compassion.